Welcome back to another round of 65 random facts that will blow your mind. Around €1 million is thrown into the Trevi Fountain annually. Coins are collected and donated to charity, specifically to Caritas, a Catholic charity. Ricotta gets its name, which means recooked, from the way it's made, by reheating the leftover whey from other cheese production. Imagine a jellyfish longer than a blue whale. The longest one ever recorded, a lion's mane jellyfish, measured a whopping 37 meters, over 121 feet long. Its bell alone was over 7 feet wide. By the way, jellyfish are mostly water, about 95% water in fact. To compare, the jelly we eat is only about a third water. While sugarcane dominates global sugar production, around 65%, sugar beets play a significant role in the United States, accounting for roughly 50% of the country's sugar output. The absence of traffic lights in Thimphu, Bhutan's capital, reflects the country's emphasis on tradition and simplicity, a feature uncommon among capital cities. In an officially sanctioned table tennis match, balls are required to be thrown at least 16 centimeters or around 6 inches in the air before serving. There are an estimated 250 trillion termites on Earth, outnumbering humans by roughly 40,000 to 1. These tiny insects are one of the world's largest natural sources of methane, a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming. While it may not seem like much, an 18-inch pizza is significantly larger than a 12-inch pizza. To be precise, it contains over twice the area. Enjoy your next large pizza. Kazakhstan is a land of superlatives. Not only is it the 9th largest country on Earth, but it also holds the title of the world's largest landlocked nation. With vast stretches of open land, it also has one of the lowest population densities in the world. In those moments of all-out effort during a sprint, a person can actually generate up to 2,000 watts of power, which is equivalent to about 2.5 horsepower. While it can vary, winemakers generally use around 600 to 800 grapes to make a standard bottle of wine. Even though volcanic eruptions might seem like rare events, the Earth is home to approximately 1,500 active volcanoes. Interestingly, 169 of them are located within the United States. Since 1950, we've lost 90% of the big fish in our oceans. That includes familiar fish like tuna, swordfish, and cod. It's like taking 10 fish out of the ocean and only leaving one behind. Mistletoe is a type of parasitic plant from the Santalales order. It has a unique way of spreading. Birds eat its berries, and the sticky seeds survive digestion. These seeds then cling to the birds, who eventually rub them off onto tree branches, allowing the mistletoe to grow. In a correct way, mistletoe is a hemiparasite. This means it gets some of its nutrients through photosynthesis like a regular plant, but it also relies on a host plant, usually a tree, for water and minerals. Shenzhen, China has seen one of the most remarkable urban transformations in history. In 1980, it was a small town of about 30,000 people. In 2023, its population had exploded to nearly 20 million. This incredible growth makes it a strong contender for the fastest-growing city in human history. California is the largest producer of almonds in the world. It produces about 80% of the global supply and is responsible for 100% of the commercial almond production in the United States. However, almond growing requires significant water, placing a strain on California's water resources, especially during droughts. Red meat changes color when it's heated up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius. The iron atom in myoglobin loses an electron and forms a molecule called hemochrome. It has a brownish color. This is why meat starts to turn brown as it cooks. Reindeer milk has substantially more fat than cow milk, with a fat content of around 20% compared to approximately 4% in cow's milk. This reflects the unique environmental adaptations of these Arctic animals. Frederick Banting played a major role in the discovery of insulin and was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1923. Unlike most antelopes that roam in herds, dik-diks form lifelong monogamous pairs. Once they find their mate, they stay together forever. You've probably heard that a royal flush is the best hand in poker, and it's also one of the rarest. The chances of getting one are only about 1 in 650,000. A straight flush is a bit more common but still rare, at about 1 in 72,000. Orangutan babies have the longest childhoods of all the great apes. They stay with their mothers nursing for up to 8 years. Think about all those escalators constantly moving in the London Underground. Their combined weekly distance is so great that it's equal to 2 trips around the Earth. Aconcagua is a true giant of the Andes, with a summit that reaches 22,837 feet or 6,960.8 meters. It holds the impressive distinction of being the highest peak in the Western Hemisphere and the highest mountain on Earth outside of the Asian continent. It's common to feel thirsty on flights because the cabin air has very low humidity, often between 10 and 15%. This is much lower than the typical humidity levels we experience on the ground, usually between 30 and 60%. The Pacific Ocean got its name in the 16th century by explorer Ferdinand Magellan. Magellan's small fleet entered an unfamiliar ocean in November 1520. He called this ocean body Pacific due to the relatively calm conditions they encountered at that point in their journey. The primordial pouch in cats is a loose flap of skin and fur located on their belly, just in front of their hind legs. It's a completely normal anatomical feature that all cats, even big cats, have, although it varies in size and prominence. That extra layer of skin and fur may help protect vital organs during fights or rough play. Also, it may allow for greater flexibility and range of motion during running, jumping, and twisting. The roughness of a cat's tongue is due to the presence of filiform papillae. These papillae are small backward-facing spines made of keratin, the same material that makes up human fingernails. Filiform papillae are found in all members of the cat family, from domestic cats to tigers. The word squirrel comes from the Greek shadow tail, describing its bushy tail. Like humans, dogs are born with fewer teeth. Puppies have a set of 28 deciduous baby teeth, which are later replaced by a set of 42 permanent adult teeth. Newborn deer fawns have a very weak scent, a crucial adaptation that helps them survive by making them harder for predators to find. Their mothers also help by cleaning them immediately after birth to minimize their odor. The University of California, Berkeley estimated that approximately 2.5 billion Tyrannosaurus rex existed across more than 127,000 generations. They reached this estimate by taking into account the dinosaur's body size, sexual maturity, and energy needs. Whales, how do they sleep? Do they even sleep? Yes, but only half of their brains at a time. This is called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, and it lets them rest while still being alert enough to breathe and be on the lookout for danger. If you're a baby cotton-top tamarin, chances are you're never alone. These tiny monkeys are famous for having twins much more often than single births. And the family doesn't stop at just the parents. Cotton-top tamarin babies are raised cooperatively by the entire group, with everyone pitching in to help care for the little ones. Despite their name, French poodles actually originated in Germany. These elegant dogs were originally bred as water retrievers in Germany, but they became incredibly popular in France. The funny thing is that the French call them caniche. One of the reasons many cats have white bellies has to do with the way their coat-colored genes are expressed. The cells that produce pigment migrate outwards from the spine. A process is called neural crest cell migration, and the belly is often the last area they reach, resulting in white fur. Rabbits and hares are particularly susceptible to tularemia, which is why it's commonly known as rabbit fever. It's caused by the bacterium Francisella tularensis. Tularemia is highly infectious and can be transmitted to humans. Imagine all life on Earth weighed together. Bacteria would account for a hefty 13% of that weight, while all of humanity would barely tip the scales at 1/10,000th. Earth has been home to life for approximately more than 80% of its existence, supported by the available data on fossil evidence. Your eye muscles are some of the busiest muscles in your whole body. On an average day, they move around 100,000 times. Here's a weird but true fact: your kidneys can smell your pee, kind of. There's a group of cells in your kidneys called the macula densa that controls how much urine you make. These cells don't literally sniff like your nose, but they do have receptors similar to the ones that detect smells. Instead of sniffing the air, they smell the chemical makeup of the fluid in your kidneys. It's like a built-in quality control system that checks what's passing through and adjusts things as needed. Cats have amazing night vision. And a big part of that is how much their pupils can change size. A cat's pupil can change by a factor of 135 to let in more light, while a human's can only change by a factor of 15. Kangaroos continue to grow even after reaching adulthood. These animals have continuous growth throughout their life, though the rate of growth slows down significantly. The bearded vulture is truly unique in the animal kingdom. It's the only known bird whose diet consists primarily of bone, typically 85 to 90% bone marrow. Unlike other scavengers, it usually disdains the meat and focuses on this incredibly nutritious food source. Nearly 1 in 5 people who sign up for a gym membership as part of their New Year's resolution throw in the towel by February. Even more shocking, by the time summer rolls around, 4 out of 5 of those optimistic January gym goers have already called it quits. Jewel beetles have the remarkable ability to sense infrared radiation, allowing them to detect forest fires from dozens of miles away. Instead of fleeing from danger, they are actually drawn to the heat and smoke, as the charred landscape created by a fire provides the perfect environment for them to mate and lay their eggs. In Japan, there are some termite colonies that are entirely female. These remarkable termites have found a way to reproduce without males by cloning themselves. This also means they can reproduce much faster. Supernovae are rare events in any single galaxy, occurring about once every 100 years. However, with an estimated 170 billion galaxies in the observable universe, there's likely a supernova explosion happening somewhere every second or two. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall is the largest known structure in the observable universe. It's estimated to be about 10 billion light-years in length. Put that in perspective, the observable universe is about 93 billion light-years in diameter. Switching from bottles to blister packs for Tylenol packaging led to a significant 43% decrease in suicide deaths related to the drug. Blister packs make it more difficult to quickly consume a large number of pills, as each pill must be individually removed. This design change also reduces the risk of accidental poisoning in children, who may be tempted to swallow multiple pills at once from a bottle. It takes 37 gallons or 140 liters of water to make a single toilet roll. Catnip is a member of the mint family, or the Lamiaceae. It has the very appropriate scientific name Nepeta cataria. The chemical that triggers the interesting effect in cats is called nepetalactone. Catnip exerts its effects by stimulating the TRPA1 channel in the cell membrane. We have the channel in our cell membranes too, but catnip doesn't have the same effect on us. It's likely due to differences in how our brains process the signals from the TRPA1 channels and differences in other receptors and neural pathways. You might think fire departments spend most of their time putting out fires, but that's not the case anymore. According to recent data, only about 4% of their calls are actually fire-related. Turns out it's not that you've forgotten your wild night out or blocked out bad memories, it's just that your brain never even hit record in the first place. Alcohol can disrupt receptors in the hippocampus, which is responsible for forming memories. The Malabar giant squirrel native to India holds the title of world's largest squirrel. Reaching roughly twice the size of an American gray squirrel, this impressive creature is further distinguished by its vibrant red, orange, and purple coat. Believe it or not, everything we can see in space, all the stars, planets, and galaxies, is only 5% of what's out there. The other 95% is invisible stuff called dark energy and dark matter. We can't see it, but we know it's there. On average, it takes 30 to 45 minutes for your eye rods to fully adapt to the nighttime darkness. Certain types of video game music, especially those designed to be atmospheric and non-intrusive, can be helpful for focus. Look for soundtracks with repetitive melodies, simple harmonies, and no vocals. Flamingos, like other birds, walk on their toes, and the joint that looks like a backward bending knee is actually their ankle. Earth is the densest planet in the solar system. Stars are a common symbol on national flags, appearing on the flags of roughly 60 countries around the world. The right kidney is typically slightly smaller and positioned lower than the left kidney. The presence of the liver, the body's largest internal organ, above the right kidney is the primary reason for this anatomical difference. Your intestines have the ability to reshape themselves after surgery, thanks to the smooth muscle in their walls, which allows them to move and return to their normal position. If you enjoyed these facts, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to know this stuff. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss out on future fact drops.